I mean, we all want to believe our clients are reading everything we're writing, but it's just not the case. One of the ways that we can increase the amount of people who actually read what we are writing is by formatting, by using the right colors, by contrasting a little bit more the background in the text.
Hello, and welcome to our website review series where we have Podia pros review real Podia websites, share their expertise, and answer your questions. My name is Ben Tolson, and today I'm joined by Podia Pro educator Marie Drouvin. Marie helps French entrepreneurs find the right tools, launch their projects online, and set up their technical ecosystems. She also manages Just French It, which is an online school of French with students in over 32 countries. Marie, thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm very glad to be here, very happy to be here.
Yeah, we're honored for you to be with us. You ready to dive into the website?
Yes, I am.
All right, here we go. This website comes to us from a mentor and copywriter who empowers mom bosses to grow their businesses without sacrificing their families. Their main struggle is creating a Podia website that's aesthetically pleasing and easy to navigate without being overwhelming.
Yeah, I can see that you are very concerned about design and you have a specific color scheme. There is a sort of ambience to your design as well. It's very delicate. And that reflects in the colors that you've chosen there and the attention you've put on the different design elements of your website. But I feel like you've gone a little bit too far in trying to make it too pretty. We're losing the simplicity and we're losing the clarity of your message a little bit, especially when you're writing with that font here. And that font on the background that you've chosen, it doesn't pop. But the fact that you are speaking directly to moms is actually the core of your message. So maybe that should pop a little bit more. And how I would do that actually with a client is I would have them delete this picture and put that into a title. And what you could do is combine those two elements here into something that is a little bit tighter. And we have the same problem here. The fact that you have this orangey red here on a white background, we don't want to read that text because it's harder to read. And if you compare it, for example, to the blue that you have here it's very easy to read because there is a lot of contrast. What you can do to increase the contrast, you have two options. You can get rid of this color and replace it with something else. That would be the best option. Second option is to increase the thickness of the font. That would make it a little bit easier to read as well. The third option is to use the bold and the italic in your text so that we don't have to read everything and we can just scan the text. If it's interesting, then we'll read it completely. That's usually how it works on the internet. People scan, and then if it's interesting, then they read completely. But it needs to be scannable, and here it's not scannable.
Those are such great call outs. We recently released a video. It was talking about the main navigation, but it really applies. One of the things that we talked about in there really applies to any text, having a font that's legible and making sure that it contrasts well with the background so that it's easy to read. And one of the examples I used of what not to do was like a really light purple papyrus font. Are you familiar with papyrus?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And it was not only difficult to read because of the font, but also the color. But anyways, yeah, if you're thinking about, I want to make sure people get this information, one of the first steps is making sure that the information you're sharing is something that people won't feel hesitant to read. Yeah, like looking at that orange text against that white makes me feel a little bit hesitant. I'm like, I don't know if my eyes want to do that.
I mean, we all want to believe our clients are reading everything we're writing, but it's just not the case. One of the ways that we can increase the amount of people who actually read what we are writing is by formatting, by using the right colors, by contrasting a little bit more the background in the text. So what you can do here, because this area of your website is actually very important. It's what we see when we arrive on your website. Maybe there needs to be a call to action here. What do I need to do to stay in contact with you? Is it booking a call with you? Is it joining your newsletter? Is it joining the Facebook group that you have here, the Mom Entrepreneur Network? There needs to be something there. And your button is actually too, I mean, there is one here, but we're already like halfway down the page when there is the first button. So maybe that needs to go up. So what I would do is I would actually do a newsletter block in Podia with your picture and a little text of who you are and why they should join the newsletter. And then you will have the time to get a little bit more detailed about who you are and what you do for people and your story.
I want to
So
bring in
with
a comment real quick because I'm curious about your thoughts. This is
Mhm.
from AI Marketing Plan. It says, I would add a second text section for the last 2 paragraphs under this one so that the white space is fixed. I think they're talking about that first, that big section. So saying I would add a second text section just for the last 2 paragraphs under this one so the white space is fixed.
there is something here, and that's why the picture, I would put it up there so you would only
Mm.
have text underneath. So you would have the picture on the left or the right, doesn't really matter, a little text with your form here and a button. And then you can have this text that is formatted how you want it to be formatted without the picture. So it's not so awkward with the with yes, the white space that you have above and under your picture here. Something else I wanted to point out with the elements that you've done, the different pictures that you've made up here. Here, it's just not readable. It's good that you included the testimonials, but that, I mean, I can't read that, and I have good eyes. So this, maybe you should use the testimonial block on Podia. There is a testimonial block, actually. I can show you. If we add here, we are in the web in the editor of the website. You have a block that is called testimonial, and then you only have to fill up the different spaces here, and it's going to be much clearer and much more readable than what you have here. And you won't have to do all that Canva or Photoshop parts as well. If you want to modify something, it will be easier to do it.
Are those just images? So that's not like selectable text or anything. It's just images.
No, it's just images.
Okay.
It's just images. I mean, that's a good tip. When you want to do something that you can't do in Podia, sometimes there are things that you can't do, then making an image in Canva and putting the image on your website, good. From a design perspective, that's a good idea. But here, it's just not readable. It's not working. Also, when you're doing that, you have to modify the picture and then change the picture on your website when you're doing that. So it can be a little bit more work when you wanted to change something on your website.
Yeah, absolutely. And the trade-off here between having kind of native functionality and being able to easily go in and change those things out, I think makes it worth it to use the more native functionality where you can.
Yes, exactly. And we're going back to her question which was how to make a homepage that is both pretty and, useful, informational. Then we go back to this, maybe simplifying what you want to do. And I know you have great ideas when it comes to design. I know you probably have an eye for design, but sometimes doing simpler things allow you to say things in a much clearer way as well. If you don't overcomplicate things, it's going to be easier for you on the long run and right now as well.
Do you have any other notes on this website?
One thing you can do too is take advantage of the footer here. There is your terms of services and privacy policy. That's something that needs to be on all your pages. That is there by design, by default, with Podia all the time. But what you can do is maybe add another newsletter here. You can add a newsletter block. Maybe if you have a main affiliate you are working with, here putting an affiliate link or a link to your social media as well.
A quick question from the audience related to this. So AI Marketing Plan says, where do I edit the footer? I couldn't find it. Do you mind showing that
Oh,
to us on the Podia website editor?
sure. So we're back on the editor. and on all the pages of your website. So in your front page or in any of the sales pages as well, you will always have at the end the option to click on the footer. You click on it, and on the side, it's just like a block. You have all the different parts that you can add. You don't have as many options as, the rest of the page, but you can do a lot already with what's in there. It works the same way as the header.
It's great. Yeah. So it's on every single page, and all you got to do is click on it. Okay. Well, I'm just going to bring in a couple more comments. Project 2 Million says, seems important to make sure you prove your credentials without posting your whole resume. So I like that metaphor.
It's not a LinkedIn page, it's your website.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lauren says, thank you for all the tips.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, folks, so much for tuning in. Marie is one of our Podia Pros, and Podia Pros is a program that can connect you with expert designers, specialists, and educators who know Podia inside and out. And you can learn, there's Marie right there. You can learn more about this program at podia.com/podia-pros. Thank you again so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
for being here. Thank you for sharing so many great insights. If folks want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, it's myname.com. So mariedrouvin.com. And you can book a meeting with me if you want me to review your site with you. And so we can work on improving that if you want to.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you again very much. And thank you, folks, for tuning in. And we will see you next time.